Hello viewers, welcome to this YouTube channel. My name is Dora. We're going to talk about information sources and published information according to my PowerPoint presentation I've made. So that's the guidelines and the notes we're going to follow. So here's my slide 1, talking about information sources by Laura. That's my name. So let's move to the second slide. We see what we have and we introduce what information sources are. So the information sources, we have different types. We have the primary and secondary. So let's begin with what information sources are. What is information source? Are places where you get information or data from. Types of information sources. We have the books, journals, newspapers, interviews, and reports. So we are going to look at all these sources into details according to this PowerPoint. So we have the different types of sources. We have the primary sources and the secondary sources. So here are the secondary sources. What are these secondary sources? These are information that has been analyzed or explained from primary sources. Examples, we have the documentaries, we have the review articles, we have the newspapers, and we have the textbooks. So since these secondary sources are talking about information that has been analyzed or explained from primary sources, what are these primary sources? Now, slide 2, we have the primary sources. These are original and first-hand information where you get from a fresh source or a clear source. Examples of these research studies. You're going to look for online articles on about or in a topic you're doing research on. You may have interviews, you may have surveys or questionnaires, experiments or diaries. Those are the primary sources. They're well explained. We shall have the difference between the primary sources and the secondary sources. So here we have the differences. What are these differences between the primary sources, which are original, and then secondary sources, which are explained or analyzed from the primary sources? So the primary sources, the original data. As I said, you will get maybe articles based on the research of your choices on original authors. Well, secondary sources are just explained data from the original data. Then primary sources are first-hand. These are the first-hand information you get, while secondary are the second-hand. Then primary are raw information. This side is interpreted. Examples, interview, this side, textbook are interpreted. So from there, we shall have another type, which is the scholars. The scholars versing the popular. So let's begin. Scholars. Scholars are written by experts or researchers. Examples, as you hear the word scholars, just academic journals, academic papers, and then research papers and thesis. Then let's look at the popular. Popular, these are written by general public. The magazines, the blogs, the newspapers, and the social media. Well, the newspapers are written by maybe journalists or journalists, rather, or authors. Yeah. So we have the differences between the scholarly, and popular. Experts write scholarly, while popular anyone can write. Journalists, writers, plus you, the viewers, can also write if you have the skills. Peer reviewed. Then popular is not reviewed at all. Formal like used in offices, used for from documentary work. Well, popular, simple. Scholarly are a bit detailed than popular. Popular are summarized. They only put the key terms in those works. Example, journal articles under scholarly, while the popular newspapers and blogs and website are said. So we shall move on to published information sources, which are the journals, books, conference papers, reports, and grey like literature. So we're going to talk about all these into details. Let's start by the journals and later on we'll go to the books. So in this slide, we have journals and books. What are these journals? We have been talking about from the first slide. Journals are periodicals that published research articles written by expert, i.e. scholars, and the key element is they are peer-reviewed. The examples, we have the Nature and then Lancet. Then the books. What are these books? These are long written works that provide detailed information on a subject. Examples are the books we have online, different books you can download and read, and different books you've encountered with. So we have the examples. Introduction to Information Science, that's a book. We have Animal Farm, that's a book. We have Research Methods for Business Students, those are books you can find detailed information. So that is the first two under the published information sources that we are going to look into detail. Then we have the conference papers. What are these conference papers? Are research works represented at academic or professional meetings. Key elements. The quality we need in these conference papers. We have the present new research. The new research that has been allocated or the reviewed before presentations. Examples, papers from the international conference on computer science, based on computer science. So those are a few examples we have. We move to the next, which is reports. What are these reports? You've been writing reports in different fields. You've encountered with different reports. So reports are detailed documents that present information on specific topics or issues. Key elements in a report based on research and investigations. You cannot make any research without finding out and having evidence on particular research, because at one point you will need to defend what content you've put on ground. So you have to investigate and research first. They are provided by the government organization. A report, of course, you can get a report in the universities, hospitals, and other organization fields. Structured or format of a report. The report is not just written manually, but has format you have to follow in case you're going to make one. Number one, introduction. Your report must have an introduction. Not just a report, but for example, you can write a report on a study based on early pregnancy. So early pregnancy is going to be your title. Then the findings. What have you found about these early pregnancies? Those are the findings you're going to put. How many numbers and by what percentage has it increased? Those are the findings you can add on. Then the conclusion. What do you conclude from doing that research? Do you conclude that high pregnancy is the highest rating, is the highest sexual health sexual disaster in youth? Or you can make a conclusion that early pregnancy led to the highest number of school dropouts. Those can be your conclusion. Examples, we have WHO reports. The World Health Organization have that kind of reports. So the last on the published information sources, we have the grey literature. Includes What are they? Of course, include information not formally published through traditional channels. The key elements, harder to find, often unpublished. You don't find them randomly on the internet. And then they're not peer reviewed. Examples, again, you have the NGO reports. They don't just publish their reports. Their reports are very private and they are for official use. Government documents. Government documents, let me give for an example. Military law cases. They don't just publish, or any law cases government is handling. You don't just find those contents on the media. Then policy papers. Yeah. So thanks for watching. In my next video, we shall have a session where we are going to learn how to search and research strategies on how you can get this information online. Thanks for watching. Like and follow.